back at Carpenters Music World with Wendell Carpenter, and today's podcast, we're going to take a look at piano rentals again.
Sounds like a good idea.
The rental isn't just a rental of an instrument. It's a rental of a finely restored, refurbished, ready to play instrument. So let's talk about what you do to prepare a piano for rental. It's not just it comes in, it goes out for $25 a month here at Carpenters Music World.
That's right, Mitch. We like it to look good if we can. We like it to look as good as possible. But more important than that, we go through and clean it. And we make sure that the dust is out, that it's going to look nice in a home and sound nice. And then we go through the action mechanism and make sure all of the keys play properly. We tune it, make sure that all of the notes hold the pitch, hold the tuning, so that when they get the piano, they have a fine musical instrument as well as a good-looking instrument.
I think this is really important because people may think they can look on, these internet sites for, private sell pianos. You never know what you're going to get, and really in a piano, there's a lot of potential for repairs being needed, and so buying that way is very dangerous for a consumer that just thinks, oh, I can go out and buy one really inexpensively. There's usually, a good deal is sometimes too good to be true in the world of trying to figure that out and sort that out yourself if you're not a piano expert. So I highly encourage people to avoid that when they see that they can get one here at $25 a month that's been restored properly. So let's talk about what you go through inside this piano, because I think if people see the mechanisms, they'll understand why it's important for them to come here and do business with you than to take that risk. So let's take a look inside one.
So let's take a look under the hood.
Now, immediately, I see a lot. Did I say a lot? More than a lot. An enormous number of moving parts.
That there is. Pianos are a very complex mechanism, and this is why it's important to have a technician go through them and make sure that everything is working properly.
Until I saw this, I had no idea how complex a machine is that's called a piano, because this is just one key on a keyboard, and there's a lot going on. So explain to me what's happening in the action of a upright.
The capstan goes up, pushes on the whipping, which pushes on the jack, which pushes on the hammer butt, which pushes the hammer close to farther toward the string so that it strikes the string. If I didn't push the key down hard enough, the hammer would never strike the string. So it does that. At the same time, there's a spoon back here that lifts the damper off the string so that it continues to vibrate. At an exactly appropriate time, a little button here pushes the jack out from underneath the hammer butt, so that the hammer falls back and the string keeps vibrating. So all of this happens every time you play a key on the piano. If I play the key hard, a catcher here catches the back of the hammer so that it doesn't bounce up and hit the string again.
This is one out of 88 of these that you have to go through before you put a piano out on your floor for somebody to rent.
That is right.
You check them all.
Yes.
And you have an assurance to your customers that rent a $25 a month piano. It comes with your word that this is going to hold a tune.
Yes, and it's quite frankly a lot easier for me to get it ready in the store than it is to go out to the customer's home 3 or 4 times and fix things.
Here's what's really fascinating. Somebody that comes in and says, I know I want to own this piano. I want it, and I want to own it, and I want to pay it off sooner. You can give them a shorter term and adjust the payment accordingly. So on 3 years, how much would this piano cost me to rent to own a month?
And I'm glad you asked that, because we've checked it out, and it's actually $43.06 per month.
And they're done in 3 years.
Right.
They own this piano.
And they've saved a lot of interest.
And so you have choices, you have options. And I think one of the other options is fascinating, is I get this in my home, absolutely loving it, and decide I want to upgrade. Because you have everything up to grand pianos that you rent as well. So how does that work?
It works really well. In fact, we just, that's what we kind of hope for. I tell people I'm mad if they trade up, but I'm not really. The best piano that you can afford should always be in your home. The better piano you have, the faster your children will progress and the more time they'll spend practicing the piano.
So I rent this for $25 a month. 2 years later, I decide I want a nicer, newer, different style piano. What does that look like? How does that work?
That would be a very good decision. What we do is we take all of the equity that you've accrued in this piano and transfer it to the next piano. So
I don't
you don't
lose anything. We said it at the same time. It must be good.
Yeah.
I'm sure people watching right now are going, for $25 a month, I'm coming down right now. I'm getting this piano or another one that's here. What's the process look like?
All they need to do is come in, select their piano, and we have them fill out a rental application so that we do rent these on approved credit. So they have to do that. If they do it right away, in fact, anytime between now and the end of this year, we'll give them half off on their delivery charge.
Now through December 31st, 2017, half off on the delivery. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better. Next week on the podcast, we're going to talk about renting a brand spanking new piano. I mean, this is for somebody who knows they're going to want to keep it and they want a brand new instrument and they still want a payment they can afford. So make sure you tune in next week. Wendell, thanks so much for having us back.
Great having you.